Introduction to boom and crash movements. Hello everyone. This is the first course, which is Introduction to Boom and Crash Movements. Now look at the chart in front of us here. This is Crash 1000 Index. I know some of you are familiar with the movements already, but this introduction is meant for those who are just newbies in crash and boom. So crash, the movement of crash, let's go to the 1 minute time frame. See the movement of crash. Crash is known for buying all the time. It starts buying gently, then at some point, maybe due to resistance level or due to overbought or any other issue, it spikes, it crashes and sells within a twinkle of an eye. You can see that on the 1 minute time frame and also on the 5 minute time frame. You can still see that also. You can see how it started buying, got to a point, spiked, buying again, spiked, buying, spiked. The same thing applicable to boom. Let's check boom 1000. Okay. Boom is the opposite of crash. I said crash is known for buying, right? Why boom is known for selling. It sells, gets to a point, then it spikes up. It sells, excuse me, it starts selling, then gets to a point, spikes up, sell, spike, sell, spike. That's it. So that's the normal movement, and the overall movement on higher time frames is almost the same thing as other indices and any other currency pair like forex pairs. So let's check like a 4 hours time frame. Consider the number, it's all those spikes and all those small movements are not really showing on the higher time frame. So it's almost the same thing. So you can trade it the same way you trade your forex, the same way you trade your euro USD, the same way you trade your volatility 75 and any other volatilities. So that's it. That's movement of boom and crash. That's how it moves. So join us in the next section. Thank you. Indicators to trade boom and crash and how to set it up. Hello. Yeah, this is the second course outline, which is indicators to set boom and crash and how to set it up. Indicators to set boom and crash and how to set it up. If you are new on this market, indicators are tools you can use to determine the movement of the market. Indicators are tools you can use to know when a market has fully sold and it is ready to buy, and likewise when it has fully bought and it is ready to sell. So if you want to set up your indicator, you see this F sign on this chart. Yeah, so just click on that F sign. So the first indicator I'll be adding now is the RSI, relative strength index. The relative strength index, that's it. So click on it, change the period to 14, let it be on 14, then apply to close. set the style to 3 pixel. You can also change the color. So now click on levels. These levels, just click there. So because I already have all these on my charts, that's why. So let me delete them also. I can start it again, so you see how I do it. So click on this plus sign over here to add each of the levels. So the first level here will be, click on this 0 and input 90. Done. Then click on description and type extreme sell. Done. Then click on the plus button again to add another one. Click on that 0, type 80. Type 80. Done. Click on description, type very strong sell, or just V sell. That V represents very, so very strong sell. Yeah, so click on plus button again, click on the 0, 70. That 70 will be strong sell. See, so we won't add 60, so only what we go for is 70 and above. So down to 50, click plus again, 50, and 50 will be either breakout or wait. You can add wait, so that's a waiting period. You don't buy, you don't sell when market is on this range, just wait. So add again, we have, excuse me, 30. Yeah, 30, that's strong buy. That's a strong buy. Done. Add another one, 20. 20. Then description, very strong buy. V strong buy. Very strong buy. Then the next one, 10. Description, extreme buy. Extreme buy. Now this indicator works on all time frames. It works on all time frames. So if you are using 1 minute, if you are using this indicator on 1 minute time frame, that means you will be holding, if you are entering any trade just because of this indicator, you'll be holding it for maximum of, let's say 10 minutes. Let's say 10 minutes, or maybe when it comes up, maybe it came up down to extreme buy. So when it comes up to the level 50 again, you close your market. So the same thing, 5 minutes. When you use 5 minutes to for this indicator, you can hold trades for as long as 30 minutes, or anytime it comes back to the middle, which is wait. So let's move on. So that's it. You can see it. So this blue line, or this what do we call it, this sky blue, yeah, that sky blue line is the RSI. That's the relative strength index. For example, let's see this current market. You can see this current market is buying, and this is 5-minute time frame. I told you can leave it for at least 30 minutes at most. Don't quote me wrong. At most, that means you can hold it for 5 minutes and get out. You can hold it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes and get out. So see this current market. You can see it came to very strong buy over here. Excuse me. It came down to very strong buy over here. So if you have waited for it to come down to this very strong buy and you enter the buy, you can see it is buying already. Then see where it first came down to strong buy over here. You can see how it bought over there also. Yeah, let's see another one. See where it came down to strong buy over here. Let's see if it bought. You can see that it bought over there also. So the trick is when it is on very strong buy, you can buy for, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes when it is on strong buy. Then when it is on very strong buy, you can buy up to like 20-30 minutes. But when it comes to extreme buy, you can hold it for 1 hour. That's it. That's how that one works. And you can use it on all time frames. So let's move on. So the next indicator is the awesome oscillator. So the awesome oscillator also, you may input it inside this window, inside this RSI window, or if you like, you can take it outside. So this is the relative strength index. So if you want your awesome oscillator outside the relative strength index window, click on F plus in the front of main charts. But if you want it inside, click on F plus in the front of indicator window 1. So that's it. So I'm adding mine inside the indicator window, so I'm clicking on the one in front of indicator window. So I'm adding awesome oscillator, 2 pixel, no levels. So that's it. That's the awesome oscillator. So awesome oscillator goes along with this RSI also, though it has its own levels. This middle line is the 000 level. This middle line where it is changing to down or up is the 000 level. You can see the 00 here. So you can also use this indicator, this awesome oscillator, with these levels of RSI. You can see, according to awesome oscillator is telling us extreme buy right now, but what is it called? The RSI is telling us strong, very strong, but no, it is telling us strong buys. It's on strong buy line. So on this kind of a trade, and you see that it has bought already, it is on a downtrend, so it is better not to answer, or it's better not to buy over here, or rather you sell, because it has bought already and it is selling again. So that's a kind of a pullback over there. So that's the indicator, the RSI and the awesome oscillator. Thank you. Next to the next course, so meet you there. How to use moving averages to trade boom and crash successfully. Hello. In this course I'll be teaching you moving averages alongside with Bollinger Band. You can see my chart is still empty over here. My chart is still very empty, so I'll be adding some moving averages and coupled with Bollinger Bands. So let's go. Click on that F sign again. Sorry. Click on that F sign again. Right now you'll be clicking on the F plus in the front of main charts. So let's add the Bollinger Bands first. Leave the Bollinger Band in default settings. Just leave it on default settings. Done. That's the Bollinger Band. So let's add EMA. Let's start from the top. Let's add the let's start adding the moving averages. So let's add EMA 500. What I mean by EMA 500 is the period will be set to 500, shift 0. The method will be exponential, then apply to close. Then you can set your color in the pixel. Done. So this is the EMA. This is the EMA 500. The EMA 500 is the blue line. You can see it. So let's add EMA 200. That's the EMA 200. Apply to close. Let's use pink. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It seems I edited. What's happening? I edited the EMA 500. Okay, let's leave that one. EMA 500. Exponential, apply to close. And blue. Yeah. And EMA, the lower EMA 50 will be SMA. I mean, the moving average rather will be SMA, not EMA this time around. So let's add another moving average 50. Moving average 50, then change this exponential to simple. Apply to close. Change the color. Let's change it to yellow. That's the EMA 50. What else again? Okay, the lower EMAs for the trend. This one is useful for trend, to determine trend. So the lower EMAs will be EMA 20. That one is already the middle Bollinger Band. So EMA 20 is already middle Bollinger Band. So let's add EMA 10 and EMA 5. Change this simple back to exponential. Oh, sorry, let me change the color. Let's make it purple. Yeah. Then EMA what again? EMA 5, and that's the last moving average we'll be adding. EMA 5. Apply to exponential. Apply to close. Let's use red. Okay, that's it. So that's our moving averages. Yeah, how these moving averages work. Let me just show you few things, so in the next courses you see how it works. Moving averages are majorly used, markets use it for pullbacks or for resistance and supports. For example, on a trending market, the moving average 5 and 10 is very good for trending markets. See this moving average 5 and 10. For example, when this maybe you entered your MT5 and you discovered that the market is already selling, maybe you analyzed on higher time frame and you see that it's still going to sell for long, just come back to a lower time frame and wait for a pullback. Just let it pull back up to either moving average 5 or 10, or at most, if the trend is very strong, you check the history. If it has been respecting moving average 5 and 10, wait for it to pull back to moving average 5 or 10, then enter a sell, either sell or buy if it is buying, if it's on a uptrend. But if it is respecting some trends respect middle BB, some trends respect upper BB. Let me check for that kind of trend. Yeah, this is a perfect example of that kind of trend. See, upper BB, or even SMA 50, upper BB again, and SMA 50. So in this kind of trend, you can just wait for a pullback to SMA 50 or upper BB, then you enter a sell again. Then the SMA 50, whenever market crosses SMA 50, what I mean by market crossing SMA 50, remember SMA 50 is the yellow line. So this market has been swinging from SMA within and outside SMA 50. What's going on? It has been swinging within, up and down SMA 50, up and down, down. So sometimes when market is swinging like this, you wait for a breakout, and when market breaks out like this and doesn't respect and doesn't comes up again or maybe down again to SMA 50, then you just wait for a little pullback, then enter the trend. That's for SMA 50. Or wait for it to come back to test that SMA 50, then you sell again. For example, see where it's crossed it here. It's crossed the SMA 50 here. It crossed it over here. It came back to test it, then sells again. Came back again to test it, it sold again until it broke it up. See when it broke it up over here again. See where it broke it up. It came back to test the SMA 50, then sold again until it finally broke it down again. When it broke it down, it came back up to test it again, then sold a little bit. Then so anytime it breaks SMA 50, what's wrong with MT5? Anytime it breaks SMA 50, it will always come back to test it. Just check the history after setting up your SMA 50. Anytime it breaks it, it comes back to test it and respects it. And respect it. So you see, let's see this uptrend over here. Let's see when it broke it. Okay, though this trend was an uptrend right from here. Oh, okay, right from here. So see, it broke it up here, came back, but didn't reach this place, but at least it came back over here to test it. It tried to test it here but failed, but it came back here to test it. It came back here and tested the SMA 50. So that SMA 50 is a very strong tool. You see, if you have bought over here, you are in profit. It came back to test it again, up, came back, though it broke it a little bit, but came back up again. So that's SMA 50 for you. EMA 20 is the middle Bollinger Band. I already told you about that EMA 20 trends can use EMA 20 for pullback, which is the middle Bollinger Band also, and that's a good entry level for either sell or buy. So the EMA 200 also, EMA 200 and EMA 500 are used for longer what's it called, for longer trades. If this EMA 200 crosses EMA 500, this EMA 200, if it crosses EMA 500, maybe downward, that means that market will still sell more. Very well. See where EMA 200 crosses EMA 500 upward here. It's crossed it here. You can see it's crossed it over here. If you have bought it, what's all this nonsense? If you have bought it over here, just wait and see your profits. Just because of only one indicator, this EMA 200 crossing EMA 500 above. See, can you see? Can you see? You see how it bought, though it has been buying. It has been buying, but immediately it crosses it, just know that it is still ready to buy more. So the way it is selling now, if it later crosses it down, just know it will still sell deeper. So just wait and look for a pullback and enter a sell again. So that's how EMA 200 and 500 works. And also it works for, they also work for support and resistance also sometimes, but not always. Not always. They normally work for support and resistance, but not always. So you can't depend on that. So that's that about moving averages. Thank you. God bless you. Goodbye. Meet you in the next session. How to determine boom and crash trends. How to determine boom and crash trends. How to determine boom and crash trends. Yeah, there are, let's say, there are three main kinds of trends, and it is these three trends are now splitted into two, or let's say two of it as two parts. The first trend is the uptrend. The second trend is the swinging trend. Is a swinging trend. The third trend is the downtrend. Now, even it is even three. The uptrend, the swinging trend doesn't have types. When it is swinging, it is swinging. But uptrend, both uptrends and downtrends, we have swinging uptrends. Some trends will be swinging and will also be moving up. They will be gaining new heights, though they are swinging, but they will be gaining new heights, either going up or coming down. If it is downtrend, swinging downtrend. If it is uptrend, swinging uptrend. So let me show you an example of a swinging trend. Perfect example of a swinging trend. Yeah, that's it. This is a perfect example of a swinging up trend. Ba, 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 ba. You can see it is swinging and it is gaining new heights. Gaining new heights. That's it. Then we have a strong trend. We also have a strong downtrend or uptrend. This is a strong downtrend or uptrend. Do you see it? So those are basically two types of trends. Now the characteristics. Swinging, let's go back to that swinging. Yeah, swinging trend, either down or up. It can be down, it can be up. So this is an example of up trend, swinging up trend. Let me see if I can, let me check. I can see an example. Okay, this is an example of a swinging downtrend. This is an example, though it swinged right from here to here. So from here it broke out again to a strong trend. Those are the characteristics. Swinging trends later breaks out to a strong trend. Let's say 80% of swinging trends, they later breaks out to continue that trend, though not breaking out against that trend. You can see it has been swinging over here, swinging, then came here, then broke out to a strong downtrend. Now these are the characteristics, how to determine it. So if you see a trend coming from upper BB down to lower BB, testing upper BB again down to lower BB, then disrespecting the previous support or resistance, then coming up again to at least to upper BB. That's a good example of swinging trend, either up or down. So how to trade this kind of trend? Just wait for it. Also, in this kind of trend, don't buy. If it is selling, don't buy, and if it is buying, don't sell, because you can't determine where it will reverse, where the reversal will start from, but you can always determine where the trend will continue. You have known that it will always continue, maybe after the middle BB or after touching the upper Bollinger Band. Even if you enter at the middle BB and it still buys or still sells to the upper or lower BB, it will still come back to your way. It will still come back. So that's it. That's how to enter for swinging trend. And also strong trend, I have taught you that one on the moving average. You can use moving the characteristic of strong trend. They respect either middle Bollinger Band a little bit. They might not reach middle Bollinger Band before selling again or before buying again, but the main moving average they respect is the moving average 10 and 5. Those are the main moving average they respect and continue where they are going to. So that's an example of a strong trend. So example of a swinging market. Most traders like this swinging period because it is very good. So on a swinging market, how to determine when markets want to start swinging is the main thing you use to determine after a trend like this, either downtrend or uptrend. Maybe the trend was coming from downward, from down and coming up like this or like this. It will start swinging. That's the consolidation period. This consolidation period, traders are, let me say, buyers and sellers are on one, or let's say on same level. That means we have the same level of buyers and sellers in the market at that point in time. Maybe we have 50 buyers at that time and also 50 sellers. So the market will be pushing up and down and be consolidating. So this kind of time you can also milk the market. So this is how to determine the trend. This is how it starts. It reverses to the upper BB. You see, it reverses to the upper BB, then comes back and respects lower BB again. Here you can see. So if it starts respecting the previous support or resistance, just know that that's a swinging market. So the first thing to do is draw your higher high and lower low. This is the higher high. What did I mean by higher high? The highest resistance. That's the highest resistance. So anytime the market is touching this line, sell, enter a sell. Then draw your lower low also. What do I mean by lower low? The lowest support. Then you can now draw, cause price action, you can now draw another one in between, because there will always be some resistance and support levels in between. Make sure it is touching at least 2 or 3. So this one is touching, it is touching this one, It is touching this one. It is also touching a little one here. It is also touching one here. Let's zoom out a little bit. So it is clearer now. It is more clearer now. So let's draw another level. Yeah. So whenever market is touching any of these lines, if it is touching the lower line, buy. If it is touching the upper line, sell. Now you now draw a line at the middle BB. This kind of trade is a scalping method. Draw a line at the middle BB. So any trade you are entering on this level, any trade you are entering on this level, this level, this level, this level, remember you are selling at this level. Remember you are buying at this level. So any trade you are entering at those levels, make sure you close all trades on this middle line. Immediately it touches this middle line, or just set your TP. Immediately you are entering a trade, set your TP to that level 11604. So it will surely hit that TP. And another rule for swing market, don't over trade swinging markets because it can break out anytime. So on these higher levels, this higher high and this lower low, make sure you don't trade it more than 3 times. Let's see if you have up to 3 entries. We have entry 1 here, entry 2, entry 3. That's okay. And here also we have only 1 entry safe. So but these middle ones, you can have up to 4 entries. So let's count the entries. We have 1 entry here, we have 1 entry here, we have another one here, another one here. So that's it. That's about swing trend and how to trade it. So make sure you draw your higher highs and lower lows, and the lower high. This is the lower high, this is the lower high, this is the higher high, this is the lower low, and this is the higher low. Yeah, so that's about swinging markets, swinging trend. Thank you. God bless you. Meet you in the next session.